Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is the It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. Hello and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us here on USA Global TV and Radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a new episode of It's Your Healthy Lifestyle. My name is Roland Friedl, and maybe you recognize from my accent, I'm not American or neither British. I'm from Austria, traveling with my motorhome around Europe and actually broadcasting here from Italy, Sicily in the south of Europe. Yeah, I'm a coach, I'm an author, I do different businesses all around the world. And if you want to find more about myself, the best way is go on my website, rolandfriedl.com. That's my name, and then you'll find what I'm doing, and you can also connect with me through my email address if you want so. So that's the website. So you can, from there you can scroll down, and then you see SPS, the Partner Performance Systems. When you run a business, Wireless Life Rocks is for one-to-one coaching, and Sparring for Men is another topic I'm very into besides healthy nutrition, workout, or health and fitness in general, is men's work. And also the European correspondent here on USA Global TV and Radio. Today we have an amazing topic. Spring started, we had Easter last weekend. I hope you had a happy Easter. You had a lot of fun with your family, hopefully good weather. We have a nice topic today. It's called Spring Reset, meaning using the season, maybe March or April, whatever, to eliminate belly fat and rebuild discipline. That's a topic I think most people try to start on 1st of January. Now it's second change here to start it in spring. And I don't do the show alone. I have our special guest here, our star of our show. She is the founder and the CEO here of USA Global TV and Radio. She's my mentor. She's a role model for me as an author, because she published more than 20 books. I lost the numbers because she's so fast in writing and publishing. She's also an amazing coach, a perfect interview guest, a host, and many, many other things. Welcome, my dear friend, Dr. Jacalyn KERBECK.
Hi, Roland. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and I love this topic.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Yeah, I guess we are both very into health and fitness in general. Maybe our audience doesn't know how old we are or how young we are, because we look much younger than we are, because we do a lot about healthy nutrition, about sports, and maybe some people might find it's boring what we're doing. We're not escaping. We're enjoying life to the fullest. How about you?
I'm 63. I just turned 63 last month, and I allocate between travel time and showering 3 hours a day for exercise. And to me, it means so much. And I'm stronger than I've ever been. I think right now, since I completely changed my diet, no alcohol, no sugar, no bread, no potato chips, not a lot of things that I used to eat. I'm on day 80. So I feel completely full of life, a lot of energy and focus. And I know eliminating belly fat and what goes into that. So I'm excited for this topic. But what about you? What's your journey been with fitness?
Well, since I've been young, I always was into sports. I'm from Austria, from the mountains, so we learned skiing before we learned to run or walk. So I was always into sport. Sport were always very important for me. Just I need to move. I think my body is not designed to sit. It's really difficult to sit for me. I'm always very into fitness. I did different sports. I love skiing, swimming. I played golf for a long time. I do long hikes. I was a runner, a marathon runner, and a 24 hours runner. But the older I become, I do a little bit slower. But I'm still very active. Actually, today with my new girlfriend, because she started working out with me too, so I could encourage her to starting workout. So we did an hour, 20 minutes workout 3 times a week. So I do a lot of weightlifting, and I do an average of 15,000 steps every day.
That's excellent. Good for you. Good for you. My workout is something called Solid Core. I just finished 1,110 classes. I had taken a couple of months off. I was doing some other things, but I do that. And then I do something called GTX, which is half of the classes on the treadmill doing intervals and speed training. And then the other half is on the floor where you're working your full body. So I do those 2 things. And then, as I mentioned, I really watch what I eat. I do intermittent fasting every day. I have my phone on do not disturb from 7 at night until 8 in the morning. So a lot of allocating my brain power to just finding peace and finding a healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. Dr. Jacalyn, I have a question to you. I think our audience would be eager to learn from you. Because you're producing and hosting TV shows around, I would say 24/7, more or less. You're writing books, you're publishing books, you're coaching, you're traveling, but you're still working out. You're still very disciplined. And a lot of people, especially myself, I don't have the time. They have a normal 9 to 5 job. They don't have time for fitness or walking or discipline. How do you get this discipline then?
Well, when I was in corporate, by the way, which I retired in 2020, and I was working, it was not even a 9 to 5 job because we did a lot of entertaining. I always worked out. I mean, if I was traveling, I'd be in the hotel gym at 4:30 in the morning. It wouldn't matter. So working out to me has always been a priority. And I think because of what I witnessed with my parents. And then when my dad passed away, my mom was an athlete. I mean, it was her number one thing was playing tennis, and it didn't matter what age. In fact, she was 80 and she was playing in 90-degree sun, and for an hour and a half, that's what she did. It was a priority. So to me, it's a priority. And the way I look at it is when I'm walking into that Solid Core studio or I'm walking into the gym, I have a very different mindset. It's almost like I have stuff to get done. I'm not like strolling in there, oh, hi and hi. No, I'm getting in there. I have my mind right. And there's certain things I want to accomplish. So obviously, when you're taking classes, people put together whatever the agenda is, the itinerary that you're going to be doing, the flow. And so I just say to myself, for the next 50 minutes of this class, I'm going to give it everything I have. If my body's shaking, if I feel like crying, if I feel like quitting, I will continue for another minute and then another minute. And Roland, what I see, especially from people who are decades younger than I am, is they just stop. They just stop what they're doing. I've mentioned this before, that they might be on a machine in a class doing something, and they stop and pick up their phone and they're scrolling through Instagram. And I'm thinking, how much money did you pay for this? I mean, I know how much the classes are. So to answer your point directly, I'm very, very structured and I'm very disciplined. And because I am, that's a turnoff for a number of people. They don't like it. I don't just have time to just sit and chat for hours on end and talk about the weather. I understand that that is something that you need to do when you're building relationships, but the answer would be discipline, structure, and doing it all because I really prioritize my health and peace.
I loved it. I loved it. I think that's very important what you said. It's structure. I think structure and discipline is very, very important to structure the day, because some people are structured because they have a 9-to-5 job, but it's the only structure they have during the day. And I wonder, why don't you structure the rest of the day, which is even more important than the job yourself? Just to do something for yourself, like working out or preparing a good meal or spending time with your friends. Most people are just structure only the business day, but not the rest of the day. And what you also said is, I guess when we both work out, I think our mindset is it's not that we have to do it, so we love to do it. Like, I guess that's very different, because when you say I have to do it, it's something from outside. Who says so? But I want it. It's something internal. It's what I want to do. It is not nothing else is expecting me to stay fit or checked or whatever. And it's interesting because when I started with my partner, actually we started the first week 3 times only 20 minutes. Now we are up to an hour 20 with the warm up and something. And she said, you know what, afterward I feel so great. I did never expect that I feel so great. I'm exhausted, and I trained her not to give up, because we do 2 rounds when we weightlifting. We do 2 rounds, 12 reps, and I count her down from 12 to 2, and then I say 2, 1 3/4, 1 1/2, 1 1/3, and 1. So slowly say, I can do it. Say, another one, and it's working. That's what I think. Most people, as you mentioned, give up too early, and we can do much more. Our body is designed for more than what we believe.
I agree with you. And I think something that's coming up for me is because we have done so many TV shows. I think we have 12,000 plus episodes. We have had people on here, whether I interviewed them or someone else did, who are really struggling with things that most people could not even imagine. And they continue to put on a smile and they continue to do what it is they need to do. Most people get caught in their own way. They feel like whatever it is that they're dealing with is so extreme, and they become really emotionally invested. Oh, why me? Oh, why me? Or why isn't this working? But with the working out, it's the same thing. People will say, I don't want to. Why do I have to? This is an obligation. It's we get to do it. How lucky are we that we are physically and mentally capable that we get to work out? Whereas there are people out there who are not. They are wheelchair bound, they are bed bound, they are whatever the case may be, they would give anything to be able to work out. So I think it's looking at it that we get to do this. And I think the other thing is that we have to have expectations, meaning no one is going to do the work for you. You can have a coach, you can have a trainer, but you've got to get yourself right in your mind. And I think that where we're going today with eliminating belly fat, we have to understand physiology, how the body works, and the fact that we can't be the weekend warrior and we can't do spot reduction. We can't just zone in on one part of our body and go, okay, I will do 1,000 leg raises, which I've done before, by the way. And yeah, you can have really strong muscles. That doesn't mean you're not going to have fat on top of it. There's a whole psychology behind it. So let's get into a spring reset. What does that mean for you in terms of what you're doing because it's now spring?
To be honest, I do a spring reset the whole year.
I knew you were going to say that every day.
Yeah. Well, we do this show because we want to encourage other people and give them inspiration, to restart when they missed January 1st. Do a restart. But actually, for myself, I do it the whole year. Of course, I have my so-called cheat days, but I don't want to call them cheat days because, when I have an ice cream or a glass of red wine, I enjoy it. Just yesterday, friends of ours came over. He's from Sicily, she's from Germany. They came over. I was cooking for them some Asian healthy fish, but they brought a lot of Sicilian sweets, some desserts, and I enjoyed some of them. So it's not cheating. But for me, to answer your question, it means that I work out every day. And after winter, actually today I eat more salad. I'm more a carnivore. I eat a lot of meat. My diet is very animal based. It's the best for me. For me personally, it works for me best. I try different stuff of different diets. So, but now I bring in more salad because there's fresh salad available. So actually today we had a Caesar salad. And well, with spring, it's a good chance. The weather's getting better. It's warmer. Sun is shining. Being outside, and I'm luckily here in Sicily, where it's spring the whole winter. But working out outside is for me the best form of outside. So I love gyms. I love to go to the gyms, but I even prefer to work outside in the sun. And I hear the ocean, the waves coming in from the ocean. That inspires me a lot. And yeah, spring reset for me means not only working out more, eating healthy like the older years, but I also do. Actually, we start in end of April when we go back to Tuscany area for 1 week to the hot springs, and we decided we're gonna do a 3-day water fast there, and at the cleansing, and then 3 days sardine fast. So this is our spring reset, if you want so.
A lot of elements in there. Thank you for sharing that. I think where I really want to head now is in reference to discipline. And I think that this is a place that brings up feelings for people. As I mentioned, I'm very structured and I'm very disciplined. And I know people who absolutely cannot stand this about me. And the reason they can't stand it about me is because they're totally out of control. They're in the exact opposite way. And they wonder why they're not getting things done, why they feel so highly emotional, because they don't come back to the basics. And so when you are structured and you have discipline, you have to set boundaries. And those boundaries can be, I'm taking this time for my health, or I'm taking this time to have some peace of mind. And that's non-negotiable. So when it comes to eliminating belly fat and rebuilding discipline, one thing that I've seen, because I've also been a fitness instructor for many years, is you see people at the gym doing the crunches, like they're pulling their head up. The next thing you know, they've got neck strain, nothing's going on with their stomach, and they're wondering what's going on because there's no immediate solution. And it doesn't matter if it's your stomach or anything else. But we want that, especially as Americans. We want the immediate fix, but we don't want to look at how did we get to where we are today? How did you get the gut? How did you get the belly fat, the back handles? They didn't just come overnight. So let's talk a little bit about that. As a man, okay, what is it that you've noticed? You do a ton of men's work. What have you noticed physicality wise with men as they start to get older, if they're not working out, and maybe even if they are, the test of time?
Yeah, actually, when men getting older, their testosterone levels is decreasing. It's going down. That's one thing. And I see a lot of men. I think they're consuming much too much alcohol. Most of them beer, especially in Germany and Austria, they drink a lot of beer. Beer has a lot of phytoestrogens, which are good for women but not for men. You see a lot of men who get like boobs, from beer, because they have a lot of estrogen is in beer, and most men they're too tired from as they're not used to work out, as they're not used to be disciplined. They are so exhausted when they're coming home from their job that they just lay down on the sofa. I don't know, putting on the TV set, having some chips or some French fries or some snacks or whatever, and hanging around because they are exhausted. And they don't understand they are exhausted because they're hanging around on the sofa instead of getting out and running or starting slowly just to walk in the park or something. Yeah, I think this is how to call it, this is our circle. There's a circle around this same thing. Not understanding that they have to disrupt their strategy about how to spend their day. And I always suggest people in my age who are very busy, they're working hard, but they still are overweight. They're disciplined in business, but not disciplined on their own body. And I said, hey, why are you so disciplined in business? And I said, yeah, because I set goals. Again, I got this. But why don't you set goals with your own fitness and health? Why don't you set goals? I said, oh, I didn't think about that. I only set goals in business. So think about it. Take the same strategy in business, setting goals, setting a strategy plan, an action plan. With your fitness and health, it's the same thing. If you don't set goals, you don't know where to run, where to go.
Absolutely. And I think something else, just like in business, you've been in business for a long time, so have I. You know what it is you need to do when something's working or it's not working. If it's not working, you say to yourself, okay, what's the solution? Let me analyze what's going on. If you want to take your business to a new level, whatever the case may be, you actually look at it and say, okay, what is the next step? And then it just becomes innate. You talk to mentors. I talk to you, you talk to me. But when it comes to our physical fitness, people tell themselves stories. And I have to say, I do not fall into this category because I've always been someone who's been working out. And I don't think I'm any better than anyone else. My thing was I was always afraid of being fat. And so I don't think about that as much today at 63. Now I think about, why is my skin the way it is, which I know why it is, because I'm 63. But the point is, when you are structured and disciplined with your fitness, it's no longer something you are thinking about because you just do it. It's on the agenda. It's on the schedule. It's part of the day.
100%, 100%. And I very often hear from, especially from older men my age, plus I will be 62 in September. Is I was very sportive. I did a lot of sport when I was young. I said, yeah, but do you get credits for that now? No.
I love that. There's no credit. Is there a checklist we can go back years? Yeah.
No. And actually, there are studies out there, and the conclusion is it's better if you haven't done any sports in your early years and you start now than the reverse one, because you don't get credits when you have been sporting in your 20s, 30s, now in the 60s. It's worthless. But when you have done a sport in your early years, and then you, for some reason, whatever it was, too busy or distracted from it, it's easy for body to come back because your body is reminding what you have done. Your muscles are reminding, your cells remind what it's doing. And I think that's one thing. And the other thing is, as you said, people are justifying the status quo. It's okay, especially men who are married. It's okay. It's not so bad. My wife loves my love handles.
Right.
I said, yeah. Are you sure? If I ask her if she really loves them,
she's out with her girlfriends going, I can't stand the love handles.
Yeah.
But it's something that you're talking about that I want to actually tie something to. Let's say you are with a partner who likes your love handles. That's one thing. Is it healthy when you go to the doctor and they run the test and they're checking your weight and they see that you've gained weight? Is the doctor going, congratulations, the award this year goes to for the most weight gain? You have to think about it. But when we're younger, we don't necessarily think about these things. And then all of a sudden one day you're 30, you're 40, you're 50, you're 60. And it's kind of like, okay, well, when are you going to go ahead and make the change? So let's talk about eliminating belly fat, because some people might be tuning in for that. So as I mentioned, I have seen people obsessively doing crunches, and I've done planks for a long amount of time, specifically because I wanted to see how long I could do it. But if you're just trying to spot reduce, Roland, what do you think the results will be?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, if you're just trying to reduce the belly fat and you're doing some sit-ups, doing some crunches, you're doing some Roman chairs, what do you think the result will be if that's all that you're working on? Really, you haven't changed your diet.
Nothing,
you're not doing nothing.
Zero, absolute zero. No, there's much more to do for losing belly fat. I mean, it's the diet. Changing the diet is, I think it's 80% is diet. I think what's very helpful, we can talk about the diet later, but what's very helpful is, you mentioned intermittent fasting. I think the best way is, when you really are serious, go for a 5 to 7 day water fast. And maybe if you're on medication, ask your doctors, but I would go to a 5 to 7 day water fast, and then a cleansing, 2-3 times cleansing, get really rid of all the stuff in your stomach. Get really, the first thing, cleansing. Because when you used to have a lot of carbs, especially sugar and alcohol, you have certain bacteria in your digestion system, And the point is, when you move to let's call it a healthier diet, maybe it's plant-based or like myself, animal-based, doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you go to a diet with less sugar, no artificial coloring, stuff like, meaning no prep food, you really cook fresh. Sometimes, to be honest, Dr. Jacalyn, it's not this, people are not failing from discipline, they're failing because their bacteria in their stomach are crying and want more of this garbage, of sugar and all the stuff. So and to really eliminate the risk of that is do fasting and cleansing. 5 to 7 days, good water fast is not too long. And it's a good exercise to check your discipline on that. But I suggest a 5 to 7 day water fast and the cleansing with a medical doctor or somebody who's offering that with a cleansing, and then starting from scratch. I said, okay, I changed my diet. And as I said, I don't care if it's more plant-based or animal-based, doesn't matter, as long as you're reducing carbs and as long as you're eating enough. It's not about. I think when you eat the right food, the right nutrition, it's not about calorie counting. Doesn't make sense. I never count my calories because I eat very healthy, and I found out, because as I said, my diet is 70% of my calories are fat, more or less. I'm a very fatty diet. Most people say, "Oh, fat, I'm getting fat." No, it's not the fat that makes you fat. It's the sugar that makes you fat, and not the fat. So I eat a lot of fat. I eat in the morning. I give you an example. I get up in the morning between 5 and 5:30. I do a long walk with my dog in the morning, because most people ask me, when are you doing these long walks, 15,000 steps, and you have time? I say, I get up when you're still in bed or doing something different. So I get up in the early, I do my long walk. I come back, I'm a coffee drinker, I enjoy my coffee. And at around 11, more or less at 11, I have what you call a late breakfast or early lunch. Mostly it's just eggs. I eat a lot of eggs, fresh or organic eggs. That gives me protein and it gives me fat and zero carb, and I'm really full. Yeah, when you eat a lot of eggs, I'm really full. And then I have around 4 or 5. Actually, today it was 5, because before the show I had a large portion of Caesar salad with a lot of chicken. So the thing is reducing carbs. It's reducing carbs, no sugar for a time, no alcohol in the beginning, and eating until you really feel full. Yeah, it's not about starving. Starving is not working, because when you start starving, then your body believes you're in a survival mode, and then it's storing fat for until more food is coming. So most people think when they go on a diet, it's calorie reducing. It's not working, because your body thinks you're in a survival mode. There's not enough food. I have to store fat, because the body thinks there's not more food available. So it's eating a lot. I eat a lot. I eat twice a day, huge portions, as much as I can, and I'm not gaining weight at all. And I remember I was gaining weight after my accident, because I was 6 months in hospital. I couldn't run, I couldn't move, and because of the frustration, I had carbs. Friends brought me cookies and stuff like that, and I was eating kidding. And I remember when I came out of the hospital and I was at home and I looked in the mirror and I said, "Oh my God, how do I look like?" And I was gaining 28 kilos in the 6 months, and I lost it within less than 3 months by just changing my calorie, giving away carbs. So the reduced belly fat is, again, fasting in the beginning, then after the fasting, doing the cleansing, eating healthy, plant-based or animal-based, as long as you get really low carb as possible in the beginning, low carb, and staying with intermittent fasting, 16 to 8, meaning having a 16-hour fasting window and having 2 meals within this 8-hour window. That's a good one. Drinking a lot of water is very important. And what I strongly believe, besides the workout and besides moving and running, swimming, bicycling, and weightlifting, I think it was very, very important is getting enough sleep for recovery.
Absolutely. I agree with everything that you said. The body has to recover. It has to have enough protein. It has to have enough time to process everything. And by the way, at least for women, from the research that I've done, the lower belly, underneath the belly button, that's usually the last place where the fat goes, you lose it from. So if you're not structured and you're not disciplined and you don't want to put the work in, you may not see the results. And so I shared that I'm on day 80 and I do work out at a very high level. I have people just yesterday, 2 guys in their 20s, they're like, we look at the weights that you're doing and we look at our weights, we're like, we better step it up. So it takes discipline and structure. And at the same time, you have to have an end goal. But is the end goal the long game? Or is the end goal that you want to have 6-pack abs, 8-pack, whatever it might be? And if so, is that even possible? Are you genetically predisposed to being able to have that? How much body fat do you have? How much subcutaneous fat do you have? Visceral fat, etc. So you have to have realistic expectations. But I can promise you this, when you do change your diet, when you have enough water, you get enough sleep, you are getting enough exercise, you will see results. So in 80 days, I am much leaner than I used to be. In fact, Roland, in January, I'll never forget this. I was driving in Virginia to go and take a workout class at Solid Core. And there was like a blob hanging over my workout pants. And I was like, what is that? Like, I thought maybe something crawled on me. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's me. That is me. And I don't ever remember having that. And in fact, for the Christmas holiday, one of my family members gave me a pair of leggings and they were a size 6. And I've always been a size 2 or a 4, always. And when I saw this size, I was like, what? So between that and the blob, I thought I have got to do something. But other people might say, hey, you know what? At this point, you're 62, you're 62. What does it matter? So to me, I said, that's it. I am changing and getting rid of alcohol. I'm getting rid of sugar. I'm getting rid of carbs. And it has been a journey that another interesting part that I want to fill you in on is I take a lot of supplements and I also have protein shakes twice a day. Well, my stomach has been bothering me. So I started eliminating things. And it turns out these powders, protein, collagen, and greens that I've been putting into my shake, I'm allergic. There's something that is annoying my gut. And so I did some research with AI and I did a lot of research. And what I found is that drinking the liquids is not as healthy as actually eating real food. So starting today, I started to eat real food again. And so I was just doing the 2 protein shakes and a couple other things during the day. And I don't think I'm even eating enough or getting enough calories for what it is I'm burning off.
100%. Actually, I stopped having protein shakes 3-4 years ago. Actually, when I moved into my motorhome, I started. I had always protein shakes twice a day. You know this chocolate and vanilla shake. But I stopped it totally, and I still get my protein from real food. Where, as I said, I eat a lot of beef and chicken. But I don't eat too lean. So I try to eat very fatty. It gives me a satisfaction. And the other thing is for the collagen, I always eat the skin of the chicken, for example, and I do a lot of bone broth.
Bone broth, yeah.
I drink a lot of bone broth. And most people don't like them, but I actually not far away from here, there's a small butcher's, how do you call it, a butcher store? Store? Yeah. Angelo and Fernanda, they're beautiful old couple, really beautiful old couple. Very small store. Everything is fresh, really high quality and not expensive. And before Easter, they brought new stuff in, and I bought a lot of liver. I love liver because liver has a lot of minerals, a lot of vitamins. So I eat liver, I eat the heart, I eat the lungs of the animal. Most people don't like it, but they are very, very healthy. Most people just eat a lean steak. It's nice to have a fillet steak. I prefer more the fatty one because it's much healthier. And when you look at animals, the interesting thing is, because I always was into fillet steaks and I have too much fat. And then I learned from animals that the fat is very, very important. And I saw a documentary about wolves I guess it was not in Yellowstone. I guess it was somewhere in the northern part of America on the border to Canada. And the wolves have been fishing salmon like bears. Well, interesting. So they are fishing in the river wild salmon. And the interesting thing is they didn't eat the salmon. So they put the salmon on land and they waited that some crows or some eagles or whatever were eating the meat, and then they've been eating the spine and everything, which is much healthier. It's interesting. And so they get the collagen from the spines. And yeah, but I want to come back to belly fat. And what you have to understand is the belly fat is when we're losing weight because we're starting changing our diet, we're starting to work out. First of all, you see it mostly in the face and other bodies, parts of the body. But this doesn't mean that you're losing your what's called the brown fat, the visceral fat, the unhealthy fat. And the unhealthy fat, you can still be very fit and still have this unhealthy fat, because this unhealthy fat is there, or your body is storing this brown fat because the body wants to protect your inner organs. Meaning when you have too much toxic stuff in your body because you're eating too much junk food, with artificial colorings and flavors and whatever else. When you smoke, maybe you're on pharmaceuticals, too many pharmaceuticals. So all this toxic stuff, or maybe, beauty products or whatever, all these chemicals in your body. So your body wants to protect your inner organs so that you're still alive. And for that, it surrounds your inner organs with this visceral fat. And it's very difficult to get rid of that. And as you mentioned, exercise is not enough. It's nutrition. Clean nutrition. Again, clean nutrition. That's the most important thing. And people always tell me, I don't have the time. I said, if it's your preference, number one, find the time. If you have a goal to stay fit and healthy, take the time. I have the time. Many other people have time. And you can also pre-prep your meals. Doesn't matter. I think it's not. What's the difference of spending time in a supermarket buying healthy food or unhealthy food? What's the difference? It's the same time investment. You have to go to the supermarket, you have to find the stuff, you pay for it, you bring it home, and then maybe there's a little bit more time to prep meals. But if you have internet, I guess most people have internet, there's so many receipts out there. Just Google receipts, healthy, fast, healthy, clean preps the meal. It's easy. And I think when the why is strong enough, the how and the what is not an issue. Sorry.
No, it just comes along. I agree. The one thing I just want to share with our viewers, because I've actually interviewed people about this, for example, they have a physical, and on the intake form now, at least here in the States where I filled them out, they ask about your supplements. And people will just start taking anything. They watch something on YouTube, they watch something on Instagram, on TikTok, and it's like, oh, this is something I should be taking, because if I take this, then I'll have this result. But what they don't consider is they're already taking this, and this. Whether they're all supplements, at least in the States, the supplements are not regulated by the FDA. So you are taking one thing with another thing on another thing on another thing, and just assuming that there's going to be a good result, but you don't know that. So for me, I think it's important that you hire a nutritionist. And if you don't have the money to do that, you ask your doctor, you take in all the supplements and you say, these are the things that I'm taking, plus whatever your medical conditions are. What do you think? And then I think the last thing I want to mention is many times people will switch to a healthy lifestyle, but they're eating organic, healthy foods, but they're eating all day. They're eating all day. They're like, oh, this is healthy, I can have this. Oh, this is healthy, I can have this. Especially when it comes to fruit. Oh, it's only fruit. I can have 12 bananas. No, you cannot, actually. You have to be able to burn up what you're putting in, whether it's healthy or not. Thoughts, Roland?
100%, Dr. Jacalyn, because we have to understand it's all about insulin, and it doesn't matter how healthy it is, even the healthy stuff is producing insulin. And when your body is producing insulin, it's impossible to burn fat. So we have to have these long breaks, and that's why we both recommend 16 to 8 intermittent fasting. So at least you have to have a 6-hour break in between the meals, and meaning eating nothing, even not an apple, nothing, because as soon as you eat something, your body is producing insulin, and when you produce insulin, it's impossible to reduce fat. You cannot burn fat. It's not working. So as you said, most people think they're eating healthy. Yeah, they're eating healthy food, but they eat too much and too often. And that's why I recommend 16 to 8 intermittent fasting and only having 2 meals. That's the best way. Sometimes it's difficult but as I said, when the why is strong enough, you can have a late or early lunch break. Let's say call it a lunch break in the office, and having a healthy salad and a chicken breast or a tuna fillet or whatever. And then when you're leaving the office of around 5-6, then you go for another healthy stuff. I highly recommend 2 meals a day. 1 meal a day is what our ancestors had. To be honest, we never had 3 meals a day. Never. That's a lie. We know that breakfast was invented by the cereals and dairy industry in the 50s and 60s of the century before. We never had breakfast before. That's a lie. That's not true. So I recommend, because 1 meal a day is really heavy, to get all the nutrients in 1 meal. I cannot do it because I cannot eat too much on 1 meal. So I recommend 2 meals a day, and within this 6. I do it in 6 hours, 11 to 5, so 6 hours. But in between there's 8 hours when you do 6 to 8 intermittent fasting, just 2 meals and really eating full stuff. And I don't care if it's plant-based or animal-based, but when you go more plant-based, like a vegetarian, not a vegan, because vegan is not as healthy, but as a vegetarian, I recommend eggs. Eating eggs is the most healthy thing.
Absolutely. Well, Roland, that's the end of our show. And I know you are hosting 2 shows right after this. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you, and who would you like to reach out?
The best way to get in touch with me is by email. It's my email address is office@, and then it's my name, like my website you see here on the banner. It's rolandfriedl.com. That's the best way to contact me. If you're interested in my books, if you know German, I published a book in German. I translated in English. It's Daddy, Where Are You? It's about more than 20 stories from friends all over the world who have been writing down their personal story about their non-existing or emotionally not present dad. And I also brought a business book because I have a business background. I've been traveling around the globe for big companies and it's facilitating sales, special sales training and leadership training. So I published a book. It's called The Innovation Edge for people who are interested in business. And my dear friend Red, he told me that the next 2 weeks, the German edition will be on the market too. So who wants to contact me? I always say you don't have to have a problem to contact me. Just get in touch and connect and share what we're into, and then let's take it from there. But best way is email office@rolandfriedl.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Roland. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll let you run because you've got to get to your next show, and I wish you a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. All the best. Thank you. And thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye for now. Thank you, everyone. If you would like to be a guest on this or any of other shows, you can actually go to our website, which I'm bringing up now. It's usaglobaltv.com. All you have to do is go to book your session. And then when you get there, you'll scroll down, and where it says, please start here, obviously you can start here. You can have up to 3 complimentary interviews in a calendar year. There's no payment required. If you want additional interviews, there is a payment required because we want as many people as possible to be able to use our platform. You have the option to join our team, and you also have the option for upgrades to your show if you already did a show with us. So take a look at that. And then I want to share with you also the books that I have actually written, which are here. This one is coming out. Stop giving away your value, boundaries, pricing, and the business of respect. For anyone out there who is constantly saying yes, 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 taking every single phone call, every single social media message, stop giving away your value. Also, the Bible of listening, in my opinion, with the 4 pillars of elevated listening, mastering the power of elevated listening, solutions for deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. And then I have an entire series of children's books, Lady Ella and Lord Jack. And then, of course, I have Holy But Harmful, The Silent Sin of Judgment, and my new book that's coming out, My Tummy Hurts, which is a guide to children's bellyache and bathroom troubles. I have ulcerative colitis for 35 years now, so I certainly understand that journey. So we're going to close out with a video clip from My Tummy Hurts. Take a look. Thank you. My Tummy Hurts by Dr. Jacalyn and KERBECK. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends, and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. And Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, A Kid's Guide to Bellyaches and Bathroom Troubles by Dr. Jacalyn and Roland Friedl, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world.
In a quiet seaside town in Greece, where sunlight warms the stone paths and the sea whispers nearby, a new adventure begins. Lady Ella and her brother Lord Jack have arrived with an important mission: to teach kindness, patience, and the power of listening. In a hidden alley, a group of forgotten cats feel unseen and unheard, lost in silence and growing misunderstandings, until someone finally takes the time to truly listen. Because when we listen from the heart, loneliness softens, kindness grows, and new friendships begin. This is Book 10 of The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor book series. Find all Dr. KERBECK's books on Amazon and in fine bookstores worldwide.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn and Roland Friedl. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.